A cashier, also known as a retail cashier, is responsible for processing cash, debit, credit, and check transaction in a retail setting using a cash register or other point of sale system. Their responsibilities include cash register balancing, making change, recording purchases, processing returns, and scanning items for sales. A cashier is responsible for a variety of tasks. To begin with, it can provide a positive customer experience by providing fair, friendly, and courteous service. It is due to the fact that a cashier must have communication skills such as being able to greet and interact with customers in a friendly and helpful manner. Sales are recorded on a cash register by scanning items, itemizing, and totaling the purchases of customers. Customers can also be helped by the cashier by answering their questions and providing information about products and services. Following that, it can assist customers in resolving problems or complaints. Finally, assist the company in promoting special offers or promotions.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Wanabil Hakim bin Rusli and I will explain the two big five models of personality traits that I think would have the most impact on the cashier's feeling, thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. So the first one we have is extroversion. Becoming an extrovert is important to become a cashier. They need to be assertive. For example, if a customer wants to return a product, the cashier cannot simply accept it. Instead, a cashier needs to ask for the receipt and confirm the purchase is legit, so the company will not incur losses. This shows that a cashier's behavior is highly influenced by extroversion. Next, other than that, a cashier needs to be sociable. For example, a cashier cannot put a gloomy face in front of their customers. They need to do their tasks with a happy face because it will affect the customer's perception towards the company and it will affect the customer's mood. This shows that being sociable as a cashier can highly influence a cashier's attitudes in the job line. And lastly, being gregarious is also vital when becoming a cashier. For example, a cashier's body language can show hostility towards customer. If they feel shy and show that they are shy when they are dealing with their customer may feel offended because they are not treated seriously when they are paying for their goods. This shows that being a gregarious person can affect the cashier's feelings. They need to control their timidity when dealing with customers and treat them professionally. Next, the next one of the big five model in being a cashier is being conscientiousness. Having a high conscientiousness is crucial when becoming a cashier. A cashier needs to become a responsible person when doing their work. This is because they receive the company's money firsthand. If a cashier is not responsible, he or she may steal the company's money and the company will face losses. This shows that being responsible can highly influence the cashier's behavior. Next, a cashier needs to become an organized person. For example, if a cashier just puts the money notes randomly in their company's cash register, or even worse, if they put their customers' money other than the cash register. For example, they put it under the desk or into his pen for a while and he forget it, he puts it randomly. The money can simply be lost when it is time the owner wants to collect it. This shows that becoming an organized person is important and reflects a person's attitudes. So a person who wants to work as a cashier needs to have a responsible attitude so need to become an organized person so they can perform well in their job line. Lastly, in a high conscientiousness, there is also dependable. Being dependable is also important when becoming a cashier. For example, if an owner of a company wants his cashier to stand up during their work, he or she need to do it although they are not being supervised, or they need to do it without the boss, the CEO, the company owner when he or she is not around. If the company policy says that the cashier needs to stand and he or she follows it without being supervised, we can say that being a dependable person is also crucial in becoming a cashier, and it affects the cashier's behavior.
Self-esteem. Self-esteem is individuals' degree of liking, high self-esteem, or disliking, low self-esteem themselves. Those with high self-esteem have more confidence in comparison to those with low self-esteem. Any job that we do will affect our self-esteem in both positive and negative ways. Having high self-esteem will help cashiers to develop new skills, handle adversity, and to put the negative into perspective. High self-esteem is important to the cashier because they need to be friendly, buy great customers, and make eye contact in such a way. Besides, the cashier also cannot take it easy on the customer's anger. Whatever emotional outburst happens, the cashier needs to handle it wisely. The second one is risk-taking. As a cashier, they need to have high risk-taking personality. This personality trait will determine how long it takes to decide or how much information will be needed before he makes a decision. For instance, if a cashier doesn't have enough money to exchange with customers in their machine, what kind of decision do they need to make? The cashier needs to make quick decisions to avoid customers feeling angry and dissatisfied with their service and to avoid the sale on that day being affected. The third and the last one is personality type. There are two types of personality in personality type, which are type A and type B. As a cashier, it is important to have personality type E. Personality type Is are people who are impatient, aggressive, and highly competitive. This personality will affect their job as a cashier. It is because with their hard work, they can promote themselves. For instance, if the cashier does good in their job, they may be promoted to supervisor.
There were two relevant work value of cashier, which is the first one is honest and trustworthy. Cashier is one of the position that the most crucial part in one organization that important and need trust value for worker need to have. As a cashier, it will have a full access of direct money cash off drawer. Even in retail shop, it's still important. The management has given the workers trust to keep the money safe and accurate amount without hazard shortages. If something happens, it can ruin the workers' reputation and the other belief. As a cashier, also has given the trust to ensure that customer feel ease when make their purchasing at some store. Secondly is friendliness and customer focus. This is the part when it comes, cashier must deal varying type of customer requests and help. Cashier need to have a good communication skill for every group type of age people, example like a kid, adult, or for senior citizen. It can help the smooth of purchasing process of the store or department. The cashier also need to know how to greet customer, goodbye and minimal conversation between customer to make a customer feel comfortable and wanted to come again. Lastly, cashier need to focus what customer needs and help and they wanted. As the conclusion, the most suitable cohort that suit this position is next door cohort. It was because has a very young people in this generation and has a very nice temperament. Next is there was two Hosford value dimension being practiced in the organization that cashier works. Firstly is individualism versus collectivism. Individualism is people who prefer to act as individual rather in a group of members. This type mostly just care about only their own and their close circle relation.
Beside that, collectivism is about the people who expect some other people in a group will look after them and protect them. In the cashier work practice, there are most likely the individualism versus collectivism. It is because a cashier position will make the people to do their work in the personal space. They need to focus and do not want to other people to interfere them when doing his job. These cashiers are intending to not take any risk for their important job. This individualism value will be more secure for any department and company that need to handle cash flow or money. For the next hotfoot is uncertainty avoidance. This value is the people wanted to avoid all possibility that may has chance to any problem may outcome. There were two types of this value, which is high uncertainty avoidance. This is some people will be feeling a high anxiety when they need to deal some situation they not usually to deal with an ambiguous situation. Beside that, is low uncertainty avoidance is when some people can adapt themselves with any situation or critical moment. This person can handle any situation and solve any problem professionally. In cashier profession practice, this value also mostly had in many people work as a cashier. They need to deal with many customers and need to know how to deal with every single variant type of request from their customer or client. If something bad coming up suddenly, they need to solve with it because them was the most worker will need to interact with the customer or client. This uncertainty avoidance value can make the particular department or company working smoothly.
So next, for my second part is I need to answer by using attribution theory or shortcuts in judging others, explain how perception affects the decision-making process of the job holder in the organization. So for this question, I will give a scenario. The scenario is an owner of a sports store named Azam has two workers that work at the store's counter, both as cashiers. Muhammad is a senior cashier that has experience, while Imran is a new cashier at the store. First is distinctiveness. Example of a low distinctiveness. If a rich and poor-looking customer comes to the store, Muhammad will treat them properly and shows a happy face when the customers ask for the product of the store price. Next is example of a high distinctiveness. If a rich and a poor-looking customer come to the store, Imran will only show a happy face to the rich-looking customer, and as for the poor-looking customer, Imran will show a gloomy face. Conclusion: Muhammad treat them both fairly because he has more experience in his line of work. He knows that a cashier cannot judge a person by their covers. Muhammad's decision is made based on internal factors because he has experience from himself. While Imran only treats the rich-looking person because he looks rich and does not treat the poor-looking customer because he looks like he cannot purchase things in the store. This shows that Imran's decision is caused by external factors because he makes decisions based on external factor and not by his own experience. Next is example of a low consensus. The owner Azam must take over Imran and become a cashier one day. He also did the same thing as Imran when confronting customers and judged the book by its cover. Only the owner followed Imran because he is a materialistic person. Because Azam is a materialistic person, he behaved the same way as Imran, and this is because of internal factors. Consistency. The last one is consistency. Example of low consistency. After gaining some experience, Imran has become an experienced cashier. He only judged a customer looks by its cover on the first week of working, and after that, he also followed Muhammad's style of work because he learned from the environment he is working. He learns from Muhammad and his senior workers not to judge a book by its cover. This happens because of external factors. Example of high consistency. For example, Azam always treats his poor-looking customer badly. He always did it and did not stop because he is a materialistic person. This happens because of internal factors.